Good afternoon and welcome to the workshop on the performance of electric buses, eULTIMATE project. The eULTIMATE project is funded by the EIT Urban Mobility Project, which aims to move in the direction of the decarbonization of our cities. And a big issue is the electrification of our buses, electrification of our public transport, so that we move in a public transport in a more sustainable way. This project tries to develop a tool to be able to control from the public authority and from the operator side the batteries and the operational part of all this very important part of the electrification of buses, so that we move towards the decarbonization of our cities. To start with, we will see a very interesting video, and we will start watching it right now. Thank you very much for being here, and I welcome you again to this eULTIMATE project workshop.
Hi, my name is Miquel Estrada, and I'm an associate professor at the Technical University of Catalonia, Barcelona Tech. I am the coordinator of the project named eULTIMATE, funded by the EIT Urban Mobility. Well, it's well known that cities are motors for economic growth. They concentrate employment, educational services, and leisure activity. So it's not a surprise that around 75% of the European population is living in urban areas. In order to satisfy the mobility needs of this population, the promotion of efficient collective transport is a must, especially with buses. Buses provide a high level of service in terms of accessibility, but they present a significant challenge. They are still operated by fuel-powered trains in many cities. These buses are still a major source of local emissions and greenhouse gases that worsen the air quality in our cities and contribute to the global warming. So the new mobility paradigm is needed to decarbonize current bus systems and to move forward more sustainable mobility based on the utilization of battery electric buses. Today, there is a wide spectrum of electric technologies, electric charging on the market. But these technologies require different charging facilities, and they are going to consume public space. In fact, bus operators are claiming that the operation of electric buses usually implies more vehicles, and they have to incur a higher cost compared to the conventional fuel-powered vehicles. Therefore, we need insights about which technology is more suitable for each city. Therefore, the objective of the eULTIMATE project is threefold. First of all, to facilitate the deployment of electric bus systems. Secondly, to analyze the interaction between electric buses and chargers that has become one of the most important cornerstones of the system in terms of performance, operating costs, and investment. And finally, to analyze the capabilities of not only the current technologies, but the upcoming chemistries, prototypes, and novel powertrains.
Perfect. And it is my pleasure now to start this live workshop that we are holding this afternoon at UPC, at the Technical University of Catalonia here in Barcelona, because this project brings together public authorities, companies, universities, and research institutes. And the first person to talk today is Miquel Estrada, Associate Professor at UPC here in Barcelona. Please, Miquel.
Thank you, Laia. Well, thank you for being here. I'm the coordinator of this interesting project, and I would like to give you a short overview about the feature and the scope of this project. So I will share my presentation when it's available. It doesn't work. Well, as Laia said, the main aim of this project is to identify the most suitable charging strategy for each city based on the data collected from different pilot tests. So we are going to collect data. It's not this. We are going to collect data from, this is not the presentation, sorry. The presentation of Josep Mención. Okay, so the project is aimed at identifying the most suitable strategy, charging strategy for each city based on the data collected from different ongoing pilot tests in 6 cities, 6 European cities. So these 6 cities have been selected based on the current technology to be tested. So the question is that these technologies have been chosen in order to gather all the potential available technologies in the market. Okay, so our main customer, our main target, okay, our customers are cities, okay, cities, municipalities, as well as bus agencies, in order to help them or assist them in the identification of the most suitable electric charging schemes. So we are going to conduct 6 pilot tests in 5 countries, okay, as you can see here, in Portugal, in Spain, in Italy, in Hungary, and in Czech Republic. So the partnerships or the consortium is really huge, involving 18 partners from these countries. And as Laia said, we would like to provide the most outcome, okay, from this triple helix approach. That is the combination of the potentialities of the private companies, okay, from bus operators, administration, and research centers. So more or less, this slide represents or depicts the structure of the eULTIMATE project. So we have concluded the first work package, okay, made by Polimi, Politecnico of Milano, in which we define the assessment framework in order to validate and in order to evaluate the results from all the pilot tests. In work package 3, okay, led by Tuxal, we are going to carry out this pilot test, gathering data in order to measure the energy consumption, okay, in different situations, operational situations. And finally, work package 4 will collect all this data, and we'll use this data in order to validate and calibrate the decision support toolkit. This decision support toolkit is aimed at assisting cities in order to identify and deploy the most interesting and the most cost-efficient charging scheme. And finally, in work package 5, led by Zone Cluster, we are going to scale up and we are going to commercialize, okay, this decision support toolkit to the different potential customers. Well, more or less, this is the structure, okay? We are going to gather data in these cities, Barcelona, Badalona, Lisbon, Milano, Dechin, and Zalaegerszeg, okay? And probably, okay, my colleague, Didac, is going to explain with more details, okay, the scope and the procedure and the methodology in order to develop these models. But we are going to provide, more or less, we are going to provide a first model in order to calculate, to estimate the energy consumption factor, okay, of these vehicles, electric vehicles, en route, okay, on street. And a second model will be developed just to calculate or estimate what will be the operational cost that transit agencies will incur when they deploy this kind of technologies, okay? So this model involves a resource management system and procedure in order to optimize the deployment of the vehicles. And finally, this decision support toolkit will be further explained by Didac, but we'll consider the requirements and the situation in terms of operation, okay, the weather, the humidity, the number of hours per day that the service must be provided. And we are going to collect all this data in order to optimize the resources, okay, the use of resources. So that is to provide the most efficient combination of vehicles, to assess the sustainability, the suitability of each technology,
and provide some insights to tiers R&D departments of OEMs in order to develop new powertrains, in order to test new chemistries to improve the current system. So that is more or less the scope of this decision support toolkit that we are willing to commercialize. Thank you for your attention. And right now, Laia, you would like to continue.
Thank you, Miquel Estrada, for this interesting presentation. And as Miquel said, and I repeat again, one of the main issues or one of the main advances of this kind of projects is that we work all together, one next to the other, the academia, the public entities, and the companies. And it is my pleasure to introduce you Didac Sabrià from IDIADA, which is a company that is contributing to this project, and he will explain all the details. Please, Didac, go ahead. Thank you very much.
Okay, hello, good afternoon. So, okay, see the presentation. Okay, from my side, I will explain the development, the decision support tool, and the preliminary results that we are experimenting for these previous results from the project, the project outcomes. So, why we are working on a development of this decision support tool? Pollution is a problem that affects the cities, especially big cities with a high density of population, for example, Barcelona. Taking the example of Barcelona, we have to find a different focus of the contributors to the pollution. For example, we can find the industrial activities, economic activities, tourism, and daily trips. We are going to focus on these daily trips because what I mean is that it's how people commute inside the cities. For example, people are moving inside the cities using private transport or public transports. So regarding to these problems of the air pollution, the governments and city councils are taking some measures to try to reduce the use of these internal combustion engine vehicles, and they want to change or they want to restrict the use of this type of vehicles. So a solution to restrict the use of these types of vehicles is, for example, taking a classification that categorizes every vehicle for the emission limitation. For example, now we can see that some countries they are sending some environmental stickers to the vehicles for this classification. So what that means is that in case of when there is a high pollution in the ambient, or the ambient is not, the quality of the air is not acceptable, the more pollutant vehicles can be banned for the circulation. So what is the solution? The solution is to move to electrify the automobile fleet. So we have to change our mobility minds. So we have to help to electrify this fleet. So why we cannot help to this electrification? Okay, so one of the aim of the decision support tool is to help to the fleet operators to calculate the economical cost of the electrification of their fleets. But this calculation is taking into account different properties or different characteristics of the city, of the lines. So this is something that is personally created for each city. So this tool is the main outputs that will show is the fleet size and the total cost of the daily operation, and of course with a user-friendly environment. So the tool that is under development is based on a pre-existing tool developed by the Polytechnic University of Catalonia and with collaboration with the Transports Metropolitans de Barcelona. So they work to study the characteristics of the different lines in Barcelona and take out some characteristics of the routes. And in case to change the vehicles or the line services, they could simulate the impact in economical cost. So if we have this tool based in Barcelona, why we cannot expand to use in other cities? So this is the objective of the project: expand this tool to fulfill all the requirements for the different cities. So for that, we have to take more data from more cities to have more characteristics to try to fulfill all the future requirements from the fleet operators. So now we are ongoing with the pilot tests, as said Mikel. We have data from 6 different cities from Europe. We have a wide variety of cities from the southeast to the east. So we take this data from each city, and we analyze this data, and we summarize this data in a database in order of the different characteristics from this city. So in the future, to try to reproduce the different conditions for different situations. For example, with these characteristics, we can simulate the energy consumption that a bus needs to satisfy a bus services. So taking the energy consumption and then applying, for example, the chemistry available for the battery and the battery size and the charging schemas that the operator want to use. For example, we can change the bus on opportunity with one point charge, more than 1 point, or overnight. We can with all these parameters, we can define an outcome that we can take the dimension of the fleet bus. We can take the dimension of the number of charges needed to satisfy this need. Then the scheduling, we can program when a bus is going to charge, when the bus is going to go into services, and finally the daily cost of these services, of the electrification. This is an example, the interface that is under development. In this case, the final user, the fleet operator, can see all the simulations that perform for the different lines, and then there will be an option that this operator can upload the routes, or they can upload the fleet or the characteristics of their fleet. Okay, this is for example, this is the interface related to the route information. In this case, the operator can upload a route that they want to simulate or they want to electrify. In this case, we are working to upload routes in the format of GTFS. In this case, the fleet operator can fulfill some requirements or can fulfill with more inputs the route. For example, the length of the route, the numbers of the stops, or then maybe can update with the expected passengers that can use this line, or the expected acceleration of the vehicle. So at this point, the fleet operator, the tool can simulate the characteristics of the route and can simulate and can extract the battery size of the bus. So after this simulation, in this screen, there will be the results of this first simulation, and of course this simulation will show the ideal results or the ideal needs that the fleet operator wants to satisfy the services, but these real needs will not match with the ideal needs will not match with the real bus characteristics. So in this case, the bus operator will ask to the bus manufacturers for a vehicle that can fulfill with the requirements. So at this stage, the fleet operator could update these values with the real characteristics of the future vehicles that are going to go into services of the line. So at And at the end, the fleet operator must update the tool with some internal cost in order to take into account this internal cost during the operation. So with all this information, so with the route information, the vehicle information, and the cost estimations, the calculator is ready to start. And at the end, the fleet operator will see the total number of buses with the selected model or the expected model that will go into services, and the total expected daily cost, taking into account the bus, the chargers, and the energy consumption. So to summarize, the objective of this tool is help to governments and to the fleet operators to go to the zero local emissions, for help and then help to the fleet operators to quantify the cost of electrification of their fleets, and of course build an adaptive tool that can fulfill the different requirements of the different fleet operators from cities from everywhere. Next steps of the project, we will keep recording data from the pilot test, in this case to get the variety or the major factors that can contribute to the energy consumption of the electrical buses. And we expected to launch a beta version of the program at the beginning of the 2022. Okay, thank you for kind attention. I will pass.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Didac, for this very interesting presentation on the objectives of the project and what are we going to have at an operational level when this project moves on. Now we are going to move forward. Until now we had a talk from the university, the second person came from the industry, and the third one is going to come from the public administration, because at the end these are going to be the ones that are going to benefit from this kind of project and that need this kind of applications to move towards the decarbonization of our cities. And we have Mariona Cunil, working on the sustainable mobility part of AMB. AMB is the Metropolitan Authority of Barcelona. Thank you very much for being with us this afternoon. Mariona, please go ahead.
Me? Okay. Hello, good afternoon, and I'm sorry because I'm
technical problems to
traveling
hear
around. Hello?
Mariona is involved in several innovation and research projects moving towards the sustainable mobility that we need for our cities. Please, Mariona. Better now? I'm not sure if we can reach Mariona right now. So we will try a little bit later. It seems that we are having some technical problems to get Mariona online now, but we will probably be more successful in a few minutes. But what we are going to do in the meanwhile is to talk to the next one, who is Josep Mencion. Josep Mencion is also from the public authority part, but from the operator part. He works at Transports Metropolitans de Barcelona, TMB, which is a Barcelona bus operator, and of course has a lot to tell us in this topic. Please, Josep, thank you very much for being here.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm going to explain in the few minutes TMB's use case for this eULTIMATE project. Let me start first to talk a little bit about our project, our electrification schemes. Okay. electrification schemes, which consist of, first, we have the intention to deploy 3 en route opportunity charging routes with articulated buses. In fact, the first one is already in operation, but we will continue electrifying several standard and articulated buses with overnight e-buses and hydrogen buses. In total, from 2021 to 2024, we expect to purchase and have in operation at the end of 2024 280 e-buses. At each en route opportunity charging station, we installed and will install in the short term 2 500 kilowatt chargers for fast charging for approximately 5 minutes during the recovery times of the buses. And at the depots, we install opportunity charging chargers of 50 kilowatts for balancing the batteries by night. And in the short term, we will install more chargers for overnight charging in more depots. Well, as I said, our first full electric route is H16. H16 is one of the H, V, and D, that means horizontal, vertical, and diagonal new bus schemes from Barcelona's new bus network. It's a quite long route with its round trip. It's almost 25 kilometers with a headway of 8 minutes, and this route is supplied with 22 buses. 2 years ago, its pre-pandemic ridership was about a little bit more than 20,000 passengers per day. Okay. This route, like 16, supplied by 22 buses, are part manufactured by Irizar and part manufactured by Solaris. You can see the Irizar vehicles on the right, on the upper side, and Solaris on the right, on the lower side. All are high-capacity vehicles, 28 meters long, and have quite similar characteristics. The Irizar has what they call a VRT look, and the Solaris is quite a current shape. The performance is quite good as well as that one of the charging stations and chargers, the charging stations at in the street, and the chargers at the depot. Well, lately we started testing an Arctic bus with overnight charging. Is the MAN Lion City 18 electric that guarantees a battery range life of 200 kilometers on a mixed route and up to 260 kilometers in favorable conditions, with its 640 kilowatts hour battery size. Well, and that's the end of my presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Josep Mencion, for this presentation. We are now entering into the topic, and we already saw some numbers and some charts. I do have some questions. If you have also questions, please write them online, so we will try to answer them all at the end of this workshop. Now we move on again with a private company, an operator called Tuxal, operating. Sorry for the repetition. In Barcelona as well as in Badalona, which is a city next to Barcelona, called Tuxal. And it's my pleasure to introduce to you Clara Ballera Ambrós from Tuxal. Please, Clara, go ahead. Thank you very much.
Hi everyone, and thank you, Laia. So I will be presenting a quick overview of the Barcelona pilot test within the eULTIMATE project. My name is Clara Bellera, and I'm representing Tuxal together with my colleagues Cinta Viladot and Ana Solà, who are also here. So, Tuxal is a bus operator that runs day and night bus services in the northern part of the metropolitan area of Barcelona on behalf of AMB, which is the metropolitan government. The company has over 1,000 workers and 329 buses, several of which are hybrid, and we also have 12 electric buses. And so far, the driving experience is very satisfactory. We started introducing them in the fleet in 2019. And the reliability of the buses is also good, but a monitoring and control system for energy management is required. So for the eULTIMATE project, we're getting data from 2 electric buses, which are numbers 686 and 691. And those are BYD electric buses that have an electric range of around 300 kilometers. They were purchased in 2019 and have capacity for 71 passengers with 20 seats. For the charging scheme, they are always charged overnight or at the end of the service at the bus depot, where we have 12 charging points. So concerning the bus network, Tuxal uses electric buses in several lines of the network. Actually, there are 14 lines that have at least one electric vehicle assigned to the service, but they can also be used in other lines occasionally. So concerning the 2 electric buses from our pilot test, vehicle 686 is mainly used in the M6 line, and vehicle 691 is mainly used in the M30 and N9 line. So the M stands for Metrobus, which are bus lines that go through several municipalities, because in that area they are right next to each other, and with a frequency of 10 minutes or less. And the N stands for night service. So this is one particularity of Tuxal, that it operates both day and night services. So in the case of electric buses, that means that if a vehicle is used during the day, it cannot be used for the same night, because it has to go to the depot to recharge the battery. So the line M6, first one, it goes from the Barcelona train station, which is by the sea, to an important hospital that is in the hilliest part of the city. So it's a 200 meters difference of altitude. The round trip is 11 kilometers, and the frequency is 10 minutes. And this line transports 2.5 million passengers per year. Then the M30 line, this one is a larger line. It's 33 kilometers, the round trip. And it connects 5 different municipalities from 5 a.m. till 10 p.m. And all of this can be done with only the overnight charging of the battery. And this line also has a frequency of 10 minutes and transports 3.5 million passengers per year. And finally, the N9 line, it starts at the Barcelona city center, so it connects Barcelona with the municipalities to the north from 10 p.m. till 5 a.m., so it's a night service with a frequency of 20 minutes and has 500,000 passengers per year. Actually, the M6 and M30 line are one of the most crowded lines of our network, while the N9 line has a lower occupancy rate because it's a night service. So for the eULTIMATE project, we are basically providing 3 sources of data from these 2 buses, which is first one, vehicle specification. That means vehicle length, number of axes, maximum load per axis. Then we have the bus line characteristics, which can be GTFS data, altitude profile, shapefiles from the bus line. And then finally, the operational data itself, which are the parameters. So for that, at Tuxal, we use a software called BDCity that lets us monitor the energy management of the buses, and it allows a visualization of different parameters. So what we did for the eULTIMATE pilot test is from eULTIMATE, they gave us a list of parameters that should be collected, and we compare them to the list that we have available in this software. And we chose the ones that were required, they were needed, and some of which were of interest for the project. You can see the list here. There's, for example, a state of charge or energy consumed. There's also indoor and outdoor temperature, all together with GPS data also. So we selected those parameters in the software, and like that we can periodically download them automatically, which we do it every 15 days. Then in the software you can also choose the frequency of data. So we choose 1 second because that is good enough for the analysis, and so that would not be a too high volume of data. So this is basically what we are doing for the pilot test in Tuxal. We are collecting data from 2 buses that are used in different lines that have different characteristics in both day and night services, and they are always charged overnight or at the end of the service at the bus depot. So that's all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Clara, from Tuxal, to give us this operational overview of the project. And another characteristic that these projects have is that they are international. Just a few minutes ago, Mikel was talking about the different pilots that we have and the different countries, and we jump into the international part now, giving the floor to João Vieira from Carris, from Lisbon. Lisbon and Barcelona are not that different, he says, and he claims that the weather is almost the same. But let's just try going international and not changing much. So please go ahead. Thank you very much, João.
Hello, good afternoon to everyone, and thanks very much for hosting me today here in a sunny Barcelona, although the weather is a bit unstable. Actually, Lisbon was better, at least yesterday, than Barcelona is today. But anyway, so thank you very much for inviting me for this eULTIMATE project workshop to talk about the Lisbon pilot that Carris is developing together with 2 other organizations. So one university, the Technical University of Lisbon, and 1 private company, Alma Design. And I'll try to describe a bit what we are working as a group. Just trying to... okay. So I'll start just so, as Lyra was already saying, Lisbon is to some extent a very similar city to Barcelona, so it's great to have the possibility to compare our operations with those of Tuxal or TMB. We have a fleet of about 700 buses, the majority of which are standard buses, and also the majority of which are still diesel buses. We are committed to get to 2040 with an operation of 100% zero local emission vehicles. For the moment, that seems that we are talking about electric buses, and that's the main motivation for us to be here today and to participate in the eULTIMATE project, because we have to understand what kind of impact would this technological change have in our service, have in our operation. So that's a very important aspect that we hope to be able to explore in the framework of this project. At the moment, we are operating 15 electric standard buses, and we are in the process of adding 30 additional units. So we are in procurement phase for 30 additional electric vehicles. Over the last few years, we have been making our fleet renewal with both an increasing share of electric buses and also with a lot of CNG buses, natural gas, that allow us to improve a lot the performance in terms of air pollution. But what this means in practice is that we are gaining a lot of experience in operating different technologies and understanding the different characteristics of these technologies and also the challenges they raise to our operation. So, in terms of our pilot, so as I said, we have 15 standard buses that operate in a single bus line, 706, which is basically a line that it's a close to a circular line because it's not a full circle, but that operates in a very central location of Lisbon, so in the historical center. So we are talking about a line that has to to go through some of the famous hills of the city of Lisbon. It has a lot of different pavements, so it's in a very historical area of the city, which of course creates its own specific challenges for our operation. These are vehicles, they are Caetano-based vehicles, and they operate on with overnight charging at depot. So basically they operate from 7 to 9, of course with differences across the fleet, but they operate through the day, and then they would charge at night in our stations with chargers that you can see here in the image. We are also going to collect data from these vehicles from the VeriCity software, so I wouldn't add much to what was presented by Tuxal. In any case, a particular aspect that we would like to accomplish in this project was to allow us to have some comparison with other technologies. So to benefit from the fact that we are now operating standard buses from 3 different technologies, to understand what are the main differences and the main advantages and disadvantages of each of them. We also have a small pilot running currently with 3 minibuses that can add additional information to the work we are doing here in the eULTIMATE project. Our colleagues from the university, they are working, so the ESTs, the Technical Institute of Lisbon, and they are working on building scenarios and building a model, an agent-based model, to explore different scenarios of the operation of the bus lines in Lisbon. So the idea here is more to calibrate a model that would allow us to start extrapolating information from this specific route, 706, to other possible routes. I think if all goes well, we could see a small video of the model working. So we are currently in calibration phase, and currently there are a lot of discussions between the team at the university and our own operational team to better adapt the model to our specific needs. But the idea would be that through this agent-based modeling, you would be allowed to simulate the operation on any given bus route with different technologies and understand what kind of challenges would emanate from that. Notably, for instance, when we would need to replace a vehicle by a new one because of autonomy, or what would happen if you had an opportunity charging along the way. So this is the main ambition, and you can see the video with some screenshots of what the model is actually already performing, although of course it's work in progress. Then, last but not least, I would say we are working together with ALMA, and one of the things that we are developing of the model is to do the stakeholders mapping, so to understand what are the stakeholders involved in the process related with the implementation of the electric buses. And I think this is going to be particularly important if we are talking about impacts on the urban infrastructure. So at some point in time, for instance, if we have, I don't know whether Barcelona is already having that experience, but if we have to implement opportunity charging stations, that would have an impact in infrastructure. And so that will have an impact in the urban community, and that's something that needs to be well taken into account. And so ALMA is already starting to work on that specific features, and for instance they already started to develop what can be seen as a stakeholders map for the implementation of electric buses in the specific case of our line 706. Of course we don't have the time to go through this in detail, but in any case that work is already ongoing. And so very exciting to be here today and to share this with you, and looking forward for the next workshops and further work in this area for Carris and for the use case of Lisbon in the eULTIMATE project. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Joao, for these presentations. He introduced something that was not introduced by other speakers, which is the impact, a very important issue when we deal with public transport, when we deal with electrification, and when we deal with our cities. Again, if you have questions, do not hesitate to write them down in our chat so that we can, at the end of all these presentations, answer you properly. And we move on, going international, as I said, and now a little bit further away with the University of Prague. And it's my pleasure to introduce you Peter Bauchner. I'm not sure I say your name properly. Excuse me if I don't. He's here. He works for the University of Prague, but he's on behalf of the team bus operator. So he's going to talk this afternoon about the position and the point of view of another operator, as said, the thin bus operator. Please, Petr, go ahead. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much for introduction. Thank you for invitation to Barcelona. As Joao already said, that the weather here is not so good, but in Czech Republic, in Prague especially, it's almost a winter weather now. So it's, for me, it's very beautiful weather here and hot weather. Okay, so I'm here on behalf of a partner, Czech Technical University in Prague, and our partner, transportation company of City of Děčín, who provides us the possibility of measurement of the bus lines. I will talk about nowadays. Okay, nowadays situation. So, City of Děčín is a middle-sized city, almost on the border, on the north border of Czech Republic with Germany. It's in a hilly environment because our border on the north and west is natural and created by the mountains. But this is not a mountain city. It is situated on the banks of our biggest river, Elbe. This city operates, or the bus company operates 50 buses, which are in most of the cases CNG and CNG and diesel buses, but as we are going green as other cities, the municipality council already decided 2 years ago to buy a fleet of electric buses, which could take advantage of regenerative braking in the hilly environment. So nowadays we are gathering the data from CNG buses and also from the buses which are on the testing roads shared with the standard roads of the... Does it work? Sorry, I'm doing nothing. Okay. So especially the line 210, which is a kind of ettalon going to the city center and to the hilly, almost village parts of the city border. We, as the university, we have prepared the hardware and software for gathering of the data because in fact what was available could not possess enough sample rate and enough or all the data which were required for the system which is built up in the eULTIMATE project. So you can see now the testing bus MAN and okay. And this is the contemporary fleet of semi-green buses which partially will be replaced. Nowadays they have small small Iveco bus, which operates especially in the village areas, and 2 full buses by MAN, standard 12 meters long bus and 18 meters long articulated bus. Fortunately, we also had the possibility to cooperate, to start cooperation with the Czech manufacturer of the buses, which since I think 12 years ago started to offer also fully electric battery buses aside of standard production of diesel and trolley buses. And we now have at our disposal for the analysis data from 20 electric buses of this producer. It is SOR of that standard 12 meter long size. These buses are those beautiful ones on the picture, the latest version, which are also candidates for equipping of the municipality of Děčín transportation company, and they will most probably also be a part of the competition. So we have nowadays 2 different cities, also aside Děčín, also Hradec Králové, which is the capital city of Eastern Bohemia region. It is a little different, so we have various conditions. One at the hilly profile, and the second is this is the second city, Hradec Králové, which is almost flat profile city, again around the river Elbe. Okay, so this is just a slide about the hardware equipment which we had to put together and equip the buses in city of Děčín so that we can have continuous recording or acquiring of the data, which fits perfectly for the requirements of our software or software for of eULTIMATE. Okay, so that's all from my side. So I hope that.
Perfect. Thank you very much from the Czech Technical University in Prague, now in Barcelona. And moving forward and actually coming almost to the end of the presentations, it is my pleasure now to jump or to go to Hungary, because there we have Tamás Koltai, and he's going to talk about the eULTIMATE project from the point of view of the Zala bus operator, and afterwards he's going to talk to us about a very important issue, which is the commercialization agreement, the commercialization strategies, and how we are going to bring all these solutions to market. Thank you very much, Tamás, and please go ahead.
Yes, thank you very much for the intro, and I'm really glad to be here virtually. Unfortunately, I'm unable to enjoy the Barcelona weather just yet. I'm only traveling tomorrow, so hopefully see you all there. And regarding the Zalaegerszeg pilot, there's some information that I'd like to share with you in terms of the slides. Yes. So then maybe first we will go with the commercialization strategy. As within the project, in one of our work packages, work package 5, we have came to the conclusion of creating these steps within the commercialization strategy. And as you may see on the slides, there are multiple steps and multiple subtasks that will be done within this work package. So at the beginning, we have basically drew up this timeline, what we want to achieve by December. And as you see that in the beginning, with the start of the kickoff of the commercialization strategy work package, we have organized a cost-benefit analysis workshop, which was done in an online platform called Miro, and all the partners were within the work package were invited to participate. And basically, what we've done here is we collected all the costs and benefits associated with the decision support tool. And what we are doing with this is creating a monetizable comparison between costs and benefits, so that we see that for each new customer, each new partner, what are these aspects in terms of costs and benefits that they should be keeping in mind. So we have during this brainstorming workshop session, we have put up a lot of different aspects in terms of commercialization, and then we assign a monetary value to each component. And right now, we are actually in the coming days, we are finalizing this analysis, which will be sent throughout the partners, and it will be the first step within the commercialization strategy, as you see in the timeline. And then we will be moving on to the financial sustainability assessment, which will be done according to the inputs from our proposal, where we have identified several different financial sustainability mechanisms and revenue streams. So these will be basically investigated and further analyzed regarding the inputs from partners and from the pilots. And moving on to the next phase, which will be the target market analysis, we have basically identified or created rather a survey which is distributed among cities and public transportation authorities and urban mobility experts. So basically, this will be this is already distributed in a form of an online survey. So we are inviting partners to support us in filling this out, especially the pilot cities. And of course, it is also very welcome to share it among the broader network of the partners, specifically cities and public transportation authorities, so that we have more inputs and more opinions collected to see how the target market is basically concludes or reviews this solution that we are proposing. And as you see in this slide, the cost benefit investigation, or rather the workshop was done with the participation of mostly cities and municipalities, and the output was the cost benefit analysis document. Next slide, please. And basically, as I mentioned, in the financial sustainability assessment, we will review how all the identified revenue streams and financial sustainability mechanisms will be feasible once the development decision support tool will be out in the market. Next slide, please. And basically, the last step, or rather the last before the last step, will be the market analysis on the next slide, which is about basically the survey that is sent out to cities and public transportation authorities. And as the final step, all the on the next slide will be concluded basically in one document, which is the scale up and exploitation plan, where with the inputs of these subtasks, we will try to identify, or rather create the tasks or the next steps of basically commercializing this product and taking it to the broader market and sharing it with more cities and public transportation authorities. So I think we can go to the next slide. Yes. So basically, I mentioned this is the output of the work package, and I think I also have some slides about the Zalaegerszeg pilot, which supports basically the development of the decision support tool. So if we can just go to the next slides. Or of course, if you have any questions at this point, just feel free to let me know.
Now we will give the floor again to Tamas Koltai. We will leave all the questions for the final part of this workshop. So everybody that has questions, as I said before, just keep them or write them in the chat so that we can answer to all the questions of the whole workshop at the end, so that you can actually approach all the speakers that we had this afternoon. And now, as I said, Tamas Koltai is going to talk again, this time from the commercialization strategy of this project, and he has a lot of insights in this direction to tell us this afternoon. Please, Tamas, go ahead. Thank you very much.
Yes, so now I think we should have just the next slides for the presentation.
Yes, you can start, Tamas, with the first insights, the time that we upload the presentation, and that the people that are online can follow what you are saying. Just to start explaining what you want to tell, and then in the meanwhile, we will upload this presentation. Please take into account that the people that are hearing what you are saying, they do not see your presentation. They will see it afterwards once we upload. But you can start already. Thank you very much.
So we flipped a little bit the timing. So now I was discussing the broader framework of the commercialization strategy, and the other aspect of what is happening in Hungary is the Zalaegerszeg pilot, which is basically now running from November 3rd until December 3rd. So what you need to know about this pilot is Zalaegerszeg is a city located in the western part of Hungary. It is located very close to Austria and Slovenia, and the location was also really interesting, in part because in Zalaegerszeg there is an automotive proving ground, which will be hosting the press conference to be held about the Zalaegerszeg pilot of the eULTIMATE project on November 24th. So basically about the pilot, as Zalaegerszeg was proposed to be one of the venues for multiple reasons. First of all, Zone Cluster is closely operating with one of the governmental initiative, which is the Green Bus program, which is basically supporting the electrification and the testing of electric buses within rural Hungarian cities, amongst them Zalaegerszeg. So during this 30-day trial, the partners from the Hungarian side were coordinating the different tasks and different aspects of the pilot, and basically outside of Zone Cluster there is Electrobus, which is the provider and the manufacturer of the electric bus, which is tested in the city. Also Volambus, which is the operator of the bus throughout this 30-day period, and they're also providing the charging infrastructure used. And as well, as I mentioned, the city of Zalaegerszeg is providing the venue and the location, as well as the Green Bus program is supporting the pilot with organizational tasks. And what is happening in this test is basically one electric bus is running every day throughout this 30-day trial period. And at the same time, there is one regular, like a diesel fueled bus that is going on the same routes. And basically, they are collecting data about both buses' operational costs, as well as are used to measure the emission, the use of power, and the use of fuel, and a lot of other factors that are important aspects to consider when one is comparing regular and electric buses. So on the next slide, maybe we can see a little bit more about the details of the pilot, which is the aim of the Zalaegerszeg pilot is to compare electric buses with regular or diesel fuel buses. And as we can see that throughout this 30-day trial period, both of these vehicles are running within different routes of the city of Zalaegerszeg, and while we are gaining data from telemetric data from the electric bus, also data from the charger, and as well as both buses have operational logs, which are every day are updated with the operators. And basically, by the end of this period, we want to see as a result, what are the different costs and operational attributes that one has to consider when either using a diesel or electric bus. So, and also the data will be used as inputs for the development of the decision support tool. And I have mentioned the pilot will have its public press conference on 24th of November. So the pilot is already has been publicized in a couple of local media outlets. So it is a really good opportunity for the citizens of Zalaegerszeg to test and basically experience firsthand what it is like and what are the differences between traveling with electric bus instead of regular diesel buses. So this is how it is progressing now, and the pilot will end on December 3rd. So this is pretty much it in a nutshell from our part. And if you will have any questions about the pilot, just feel free to let us know.
Thank you very much, Tamas, for this double view from the pilot on the commercialization and strategy. And in this topic, we move forward now, coming back to Barcelona with IDIADA, and in particular with Guillem Badia, who will talk about the commercialization strategy, the relationship with the IIT, and how we move forward in this direction of going into market. Thank you very much, Guillem, for being here. And please, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Daria. As you briefly introduced, we'll provide a very short overview on how we intend to move forward in terms of project. It's not only meant to be technically successful, but also its purpose is to be financially successful. For that purpose, we have prepared a couple of slides that I assume that might be coming very shortly to introduce in what status are we right now, and what the next steps into defining the structure to bring it to market successfully should be. So, as I said, it's going to be a very short overview on where we are standing right now. The points to be covered will be the commercialization agreement itself, the decision support tool as a product, then sales strategy, how we intend to distribute this to our customers, then how we cooperate with the IT, and of course, well, we need to present a sales forecast. So, as we all know, the Institute is a entity looking to generate profit. So it's one of the main partners, to put it somehow, in this project. So yeah, as we said, we need to define how to move forward in terms of commercialization. So this commercialization agreement is defining the relationship between the EIT and the consortium itself, and does include a partners agreement in which the relationship between all of us in the consortium is defined. This is ongoing. We need to sign the final version within the 21st of December. So we are just providing a short overview on what the status is as per right now. So the way it's meant to be structured is the partners should put together a document defining the relationship between us, between the partners, to allow only one document to be signed between the EIT and the consortium. This one should be represented by of course, the coordinator of the project, the Universitat Politècnica Catalunya, the UPC, and the IDIADA's main commercialization entity in the project. This commercialization strategy is also, of course, based on the main three revenue streams of the product. So we're already talking about the DST as a product to be launched to market. It's meant to provide revenues from direct sales to our customers. And of course, the maintenance of the tool needs to follow the evolution of the technology to remain useful for our customers in the future. Then we are also intending to offer the data sets that are going to be generated throughout the development and throughout the first steps of operation of the product. And then, of course, it's going to generate different kind of consultancy services alongside the implementation of the software itself and the implementation of the structure that it allows. And by structure, we mean, of course, the whole equipment plus vehicles. So the way that it's meant to work, as I said, it's an ongoing process, but we intend to approach our customers through commercialization agents that are partners in this project. And the way it's meant to work, it's by regional separation. So we're going to have different partners allowing commercialization of the product in different regions of the world. So TMB, previously mentioned, is going to be in charge of Asia and South America. Eastern Europe is going to be carried out by Zone Cluster, also partner in commercialization, and Electrobus. Carris, here represented today for Portugal and Brazil, and us in IDIADA should take care of the rest of Europe. We mentioned the financial sustainability plan. Of course, that needs to be presented. We have some draft forms of it, but are currently under revision and will be updated briefly before signing the document before the 21st of December, so next month. So just to gather out the next steps in terms of bringing the DST into a successful product are going to be signing this agreement between partners, defining the partners agreement so we can approach the EIT with a single commercialization agreement, which was an important topic discussed, that should be signed between, of course, the EIT, UPC, and IDIADA, as said. Perform this revision of the financial sustainability plan, and reach the deadline of December 21st so we can call the DST a product finally to be launched to the market. So as I said, that was a brief overview on where we are, not only in technical development, but also in the maybe the boring part, the financial part. So of course, should there be any question, as said in previous parts of the session, please write it down and they will be addressed, I think, very shortly.
Yes, exactly. Thank you very much, Guillem Badia, for the commercialization agreement, commercialization strategy, and all what we try to sell all over the world with this project. And now we are coming to the end of the presentations for this afternoon, and it's my pleasure to introduce you again to Miquel Estrada from UPC, who will do an overview of the other pilot tests that we are doing in this eULTIMATE project, and the links to the web and to all the parts of the communication for this project. Please go ahead, Miquel, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Laia. Well, I would like to thank Jan from the University of Prague, a colleague of yours, because he's really doing and involved in several tasks of dissemination. So today he has classes, okay, and it's not possible to explain the dissemination task, okay, to the audience. If we can move to the next slide, please. I would like to summarize, okay, the main information in terms of workshops and website. So all this information about the partners, about the next steps, okay, in the development of the decision support toolkit can be reached by this website, eULTIMATE.upc.edu, okay, and you will have the next upcoming events, for instance, the next Tuesday, I guess. Okay, no, Wednesday. We will hold a workshop in Zalaegerszeg, okay, with Tamás, in order to disseminate and to promote the deployment of electric buses in Hungary, okay, with the First Minister of Hungary. So it's for us it's a great honor, okay, to share this initiative, okay, with these politicians, and we are going to schedule other workshops, okay, in the rest of the pilot test cities, okay. In Barcelona we will have a short meeting, okay, and visit to the bus garage operated by Tuxal, okay, next Tuesday, and we'll have the following workshops in Lisbon, in Barcelona, Dechin, and other following cities. Well, as Professor Bochner said, okay, we are going to extend, okay, this scope, or okay, and this planning, okay, to the city of Hradec Králové, okay, in order to amplify, okay, the data sets, okay, and in order to gather more data. And we are going to increase the involvement of cities, okay, in this project by the creation of the city club, okay. So resembling the idea of the city club in the EIT urban mobility, we are going to create a city club of cities, municipalities that are promoting the deployment of electric buses. So in order to interchange experience and everything. So we will be more than happy to create this initiative. And well, that's all from my side. So thank you. Well, there is another pending presentation. There is just 1 year project. So we are going to push all the pending tasks, okay? And we are going to end this project by March 22. So right now we are in the 7th month of project development. So we are going to finalize the development of the decision support system in a preliminary version by the end of December, and we are going to use, okay, to spend the last 3 months of the project in order to fine-tune this decision support toolkit and to intensify the commercialization activities. So here you have a short video shortage, okay, of the buses involved in the pilot test, Dechin, Badalona, Barcelona, and Lisbon. Thank you for all of us, okay, in order to share this information, these videos, because it's not easy, okay, to have this information. And that's time for questions. I don't know if there is any question from the audience, or if you would like to write down in the chat, we will be more than happy to answer them. Okay, to all the speakers involved here, present in the audience in this venue.
There is a question from the audience. Can you hear me properly? Please go ahead. Say your name, the institution, and then your question. Thank you very much.
My name is Juan Pablo. I'm doing the local master in UPC of Supply Chain Transport and Mobility. And so my question is mostly related to IDIADA. So you were saying that the model is still a work in progress. So I want to know, what do you think is the main obstacle right now to have a complete model? Is it more related to financial or like to the model itself?
Okay. Okay, thank you for the question. Related to the model, it's related to the it's not for the economic effort, it's more for the to take the data, more data available from each city. So we take this data, we split the data in different characteristic factors, and we try with our model simulation to reproduce these factors, not only for the traction, to simulate the energy consumption related to the traction, so, also related to the other external factors like ambient conditions or city conditions. So the simulation that we're developing are taking into account different factors.
Thank you very much for the question. Actually, the answer was from IDIADA. Is there another question in the audience? Yes, we have another question. Please again say your name and then the question.
My name is Tubal Torres. I'm doing the Masters of Supply Chain, Transport and Mobility here at UPC also. And I would like to ask to the bus operator of Barcelona, for example, or any other cities that were explaining before, which were the main criteria in order to choose which lines develop this electrification of buses, let's say. I guess that it's the number of users. So, for example, the difference of height between origin and destination of the line. But if there's some any other criterion that has been studied. Thank you.
Thank you very much for this question. If it's the operator of Barcelona, I guess it is TMB. Josep Mancion will answer this question. Thank you very much, Josep.
Thank you. Main criteria could be, for instance, that we choose, let's say, a high-demand bus route, but also a route that runs through the city center with a high demand, and also high-capacity buses that let us to choose an en route opportunity charging station to fill the buses. So in fact, the answer is high-demand bus route, and also a route that runs through the city center and serve special, let's say, special center areas in the city that are those ones that could be more polluted. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Josep, for the questions. Are there other questions in the audience that you may have? The ones online, we have not received any questions. If someone has a question, you have a couple of minutes to write them down in the chat, and we will do our best to answer them. We have all the speakers here willing to answer your questions. In the meanwhile, if there is nobody that has a question, I do have a question. So if I am allowed, I'm going to ask a question. And actually, my question is for Joao from Carris. You presented actually already a software defining, I suppose, the level of battery and the electrification or the situation of your buses dealing with the pilot that you have. And it was even in the map of Lisbon, I guess, that was Lisbon. And the points were all in a very, let's say, round place. They were not in the middle. These are bus routes already where buses are, or why is this formed like that? Could you further elaborate on this question? Thank you very much.
Yeah, so basically what we have now in the model is bus line 706 that is, like I said, close to a circle line in the very historical center of the city of Lisbon. And what you could see is the actual simulation of the actual bus is moving. So the bus that goes out and does the first service, then it goes around, then comes the second one, and you can see the buses coming and doing the service as they are supposed to be done. So the model is basically at the moment reflecting the true the behavior of the vehicles in the city. So you can see the bus line, you can see the vehicles moving, and you can see the various stops along the way. Just if you allow me very quickly for the previous question, just to add to what Josep was just saying, is that for us it was very important, this last aspect of the environmental performance, because we have a low emission zone in the city of Lisbon, and this was one of the main criteria for us to choose which would be the first line to operate with full electric vehicles, was the fact that this line covers a great part of the low emission zones of the city of Lisbon.
Thank you very much, Joao, for the nice explanation. It's clear that it's a bus line that makes this route. Thank you. Any other questions in the audience? Do we have any questions online from our... Not yet, no? Okay, then I'm going to thank everybody, the ones that were following this workshop online, the ones that took the time to be here presentially in Barcelona at UPC. Of course, all our speakers that made this possible, of this workshop that involved public authorities, the university, the companies involved in the project, and we talked about several pilots that we are doing, as well as the commercialization strategy and the next steps. As Miquel said, we are in the 7th month of this project, and we have time until March next year to further develop this decision support tool that I'm sure that it's going to move towards the electrification of our cities, so that we all move towards decarbonization of Europe and big and small cities of our countries. You can see the project timeline in the screen. So it started in 2021 in April, as I said, and it's going to last for 1 year. So it's finishing, of course, in April 2022. In May 2021, we had this assessment framework. In October, and we saw it today, we could present the operational model. In November, we had this technology trend analysis. We have not finished November yet. We are hosting this project with this workshop now, and as explained, we will host other workshops in the next days or weeks or months. So please keep posted. And in December, we will do the first draft of the EST, and the KPIs and all the data that is going to be collected and assessed for this project is going to be available until the end of the project in April next year, 2022, obviously. Thank you very much for being here this afternoon. Again, thank you especially to all the speakers that came here today and the ones that were online. And I wish you, everybody, a good afternoon and see you soon. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.